Of course, you want your root cause problem solving to actually help your organization in the most effective way. And for that, you need to focus where you launch these activities and how you organize them to really help your organization and not to be some loose projects here and there that in the end don't tie together. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we talk about continuous improvement in an industrial setting. And in this video, we will be talking about how to organize root cause problem solving so that it gives maximum benefit to your organization, and also so that you can make sure that you solve the problems that pop up in your organization and not those things that the engineers like to solve. Now, for that to happen, we want to solve the actual problems that pop up. And for problems, we do first need a standard, because as you may remember, when our performance goes down from standard, then we have a problem, because we know that we can do better, but our results show otherwise. And when we make an improvement in our process, we go up and we get a new level, a new standard of working, then we are talking about really improving our process. So to know that we are having a problem that probably has only one, maybe two, but probably only one real root cause, look for deviations from known standards. Now, what in our organization is the best place where we check these deviations? This is, of course, in our performance control system. So PCS or daily control system or stand-up meetings. Anyway, this is where we have KPIs, because a standard in practice translates to a KPI in performance. And when we see that a KPI is somewhere up to standard, so achieving or exceeding our standard, good, nothing wrong. And of course, when a KPI is not being met, then we have a problem. Now, this doesn't mean that you immediately have to get a whole team together to go dive in and analyze this problem. If it is a pretty simple problem, we'll fix it with minimal resources, because this, of course, is also important. So what you will see often, the terms being used in industry, is that you have a Kaizen burst or a Kaizen event, with the burst being very quick. We know, basically, we already know the root cause, or we're very close to it, so it's just a way to make sure that we solve it in a correct way. Or when we say, well, this is something sort of newish or repetitive, then we go for a Kaizen event where we really analyze a bit more, we get really a team together. Or in other industries, and it just depends on the company, we call it just do it, when you say we already know it, but now we just need to do it in a good way. Or we have a root cause problem solving team. So if you are used to terms like Kaizen burst, Kaizen event, they are the same as just do it versus problem solving or root cause analysis team, an RCA team. It's basically the same. Kaizen event, root cause problem solving, root cause analysis. It's the same type of activity that will get us back to our work standard, back to the proven performance that we have. But this also means that this group of people that check and manage and are responsible for those KPIs, that is the daily meeting, for instance, they are the best group of people to manage, to direct the root cause problem solving activities. So link it to your performance control system. And this is how the natural flow of when you start problem solving should also be. This group, so your daily stand-up, your team leader, your department stand-up, that performance control meeting, they should launch, they make the decision to make resources available for a root cause problem solving team, but they are also the owners of the problem. So you will have a group leader who leads this root cause problem solving group. That person does most of the reporting work, the communication work, but they are not the owner of the problem. The owner of the problem and the root cause problem solving project is your performance control meeting that launched it. And within your organization, what I would advise is that from management, you decide on how much resources you will put towards problem solving. And to put this in a more practical context, What you will usually say are things like, in the production department, we will make sure with a number of support departments, we have a pool of people who are good in problem solving, but also a couple of technical people that are really into these groups as experts. But in total, because you don't know when a problem is going to occur, we will allow you, manager of the production department, to launch from the production department's process control meeting up to 3 problem-solving teams. So you basically just put a number on how many teams. So you put 3 for the production department, you put 2 for the logistics department, 2 for expedition, things like that. Because with this, what you do is from one level higher management, with also different departments, because this is the problem. Resources that are needed for a root cause problem solving team often have to be gathered from different departments as well. So you make a management commitment and then also give the mandate to a performance control meeting to say, you are allowed to have a number of problem-solving teams active at any time. If you have more problems, either close a team or wait for one to finish before you get the new resources. This is how you make sure that you still focus on the main problems and that you don't start using the problem-solving teams everywhere. Now, the other thing also is that this will allow such a meeting to say, we have a problem, now let's launch it, without getting into all the bureaucracy of really having to defend that this might be a good use of resources, waiting for a management meeting and then things to organize. No, your organization should be ready to launch a number of problem-solving teams. And that also means that as management, you commit to, in the technical department, there is, for instance, 0.6 FTE available to support these teams at any time. The technology department also has a person specialized in helping this, or better actually, to have 3 people that know that 1 or 2 days a week they should free up for this type of problem solving when any one of the departments needs them. This way you make sure that the resources are there, but you also make sure that they are not overused. So that is how you limit but also support the teams as a root cause problem solving team. That this performance control meeting is your owner, your problem owner, also means that on each step of your, and I use a 6-step problem solving approach, but on each of those steps, you make sure to have a good chat with the sponsor from this meeting and to make sure that either you yourself or they present the progress in those meetings and make sure that the meeting agrees. So the people in this performance control meeting check your piece of problem analysis, of the temporary steps of the analysis, they sign off on it or give improvement ideas on how to alter your part of the process, and then you go to the next step. And each time that you go to the next step, you again make a promise, this step will be finished in so many days. Because that's also one of the things, of course, with problems. We know that a problem-solving team, it depends a bit on how you select it, but usually we say somewhere between a week, 3 weeks. So in my organization, we often say let's put a 2-week sort of guideline on it. I know that many Kaizen events, they say usually 1 week, but then with good resources is a bit of a standard. So each organization picks their own standard, but in the end, pinning it really down to a specific number of days is very hard. And in practice, a method that works a lot better is every time that you finish one of the steps, you report back to the meeting, so to the performance control meeting, with the results, the question, is this okay? Can we move on? But also, the next step will cost us approximately 3 days. This then goes onto the action list of that performance control meeting, with the action holder being the sponsor of your problem. And in this way, you don't need to think up new ways to manage your problem-solving teams. There is no need to make a general factory-wide problem-solve team follow up with somebody in the performance excellence department trying to manage everything. No, it is part of your regular performance control system, and the people who are already in that performance control meeting, so these are managers, these are team leaders, these are people who already have a fixed role, really responsible for the performance of that department. They will be the people getting the action. They will drive the progress of the problem solving and also be responsible to remove the obstacles. In this way, you make sure that your problem solving efforts, the resources you put into it, will be directed by the operation. There will be a cap on it so that you don't lose control on it, and you get this follow-up with the operational management, and those guys, they are really important to move away the obstacles in front of your problem solving team, because when you need problem solving instead of just do it, so when you have a Kaizen event instead of a small burst, almost always it is also going to lead to processes being changed. Something went wrong, and they are not only trying to fix the physical thing that went wrong, they are trying to fix the underlying root causes. And I guarantee you, if your root cause is not a process, check one of my previous videos, you haven't found the root cause yet. So the direct cause, the underlying cause, they may all still be physical stuff, but the root cause that such a team wants to solve is a process. It's how are we, as the operators, as the managers of our processes, going to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So even if you have a technical problem, there has to be some process to check the technical state and make sure it doesn't deteriorate. And that is almost guaranteed to not be directly under the control of the problem-solving team, and maybe not even the sponsor manager. That's why it's so important that you do this from the control meeting. So the performance control meeting, where you have all the relevant departments represented with their mandates to change things, and you have a link that you can escalate to a higher level of management. So make sure your problem-solving team can do their job and that the obstacles are free, and of course that they are solving problems that your operation wants to get solved. In the end, we are doing this to improve the performance of our operation. Now, that's how I advise you organize your root cause problem solving. I know it also works as a standalone initiative driven from your performance excellence group, but my experience tells me that each time that the operation really takes control and ownership of your problem solving resources and initiatives, the effectiveness increases a lot. So I hope you liked it. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and in the meantime I wish you the best of luck with your problem solving teams, but of course, as always, enjoy the continuous improvement journey.